Peter greets believers in the first word of this letter. He calls them and he calls us strangers. Now I have to admit that at first, some years ago when I saw this, I didn't like being called a stranger. Strangers are people that we don't know very well, and a lot of times we don't really see them, and sometimes we don't even trust them. But Peter wants us to understand an important truth about our identity when he calls us strangers. And understanding this truth about our identity is going to help us live well here. He wants us to understand that our real citizenship is not here, but it's in heaven. And because of that, sometimes we may feel like aliens and strangers, like we don't belong here. Displaced people often, well, their hearts and their thoughts are sent back home as they think about their real home. Well, we're kind of like that because our real citizenship is not here, but it's in heaven. Have you ever felt like you just didn't belong here? Well, I have. Maybe you felt like your ideas and your perspectives didn't quite match up with other people around you. Well, if that's true, it may even be a good thing, because this is not your primary home. Every earthly culture is corrupt and reflects the pagan culture around us. And being a stranger, having different values and perspectives, well, that's okay. Understanding that we're strangers and that's part of our identity should affect us in several ways as we live here on the earth. First of all, we should love and support those who are in the Christian community because we are strangers here together. And I want to encourage us not to be so petty about our differences, but to embrace each other, and that's particularly sisters and brothers who are new to our Christian communities. Imagine coming into a Christian community, you're a stranger in the culture, and then you're a stranger in the Christian community. We need to embrace each other, accept each other, and love each other. Moving is hard. I did that growing up in my military family, and there were so many times that I was the new kid. And well, people who are new just need us to embrace them and love them. And there's another thing we need to think about as well. We need to think about the reality that our priorities are going to change if our heavenly home is more important than our earthly home. We don't want to get too attached to this world. In fact, we don't really want to put down our roots here. Jesus said that we should fix our eyes on Him, that we should look up. And if we can remember that our real home is not here, our priorities will shift, and we're not nearly as likely to make idols out of the stuff of this earth. This is the place that we are strangers, but there's a perfect place, a beautiful place, a place that we're going. And so I want to encourage you to sojourn well while you're here, but remember your identity, that you're a stranger in this world, and that great days are ahead for all of us in our new